Good shit.
All right, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Just Booling. It's Saint and Sketch.
Going on? What's going on?
This one's going to be just our thoughts on basically, what could be potentially the future. And there's our thoughts
Would
on
be.
AI, its position in our society, what's it's been, our thoughts on potential benefits and, obviously the downsides and stuff like that. Obviously, as Sketch himself being an artist, I know he's, there's a big,
Yeah.
talking point when it comes to AI art and stuff like that. So let's start there. Just for everyone don't doesn't know, AI is basically artificial intelligence. AI can range from anything from, a chat bot reaching out to the internet and getting you a recipe or your favorite the backstory on a character from a fictional universe
Or
to
customer support.
or customer support. Chatbots are doing customer support and checking, have access to all kinds of databases and stuff for companies to check and pull order info. And, when you get to the military and the big corporate worlds, they got AI that's running pretty much a lot of their infrastructure when it comes to moving things and doing things. So, for the most part, obviously, most of our listeners and ourselves included, we're not dealing with military grade or
Yeah.
corporate grade AI. So, we'll be basically talking about, the AI that affects us day to day. And so I'm gonna let Sketch start with the what I see ultimately is probably one of the biggest issues is AI art.
So I'm a mixed bag on that one, just because as a graphic designer, our whole thing is taking simple base materials and turning it into something where we can communicate to the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's alchemy. That's all it is. Um, so I can understand why somebody who, for instance, like say you like tattoos.
Yep.
You want to make a tattoo. You can draw, but you're not a tattoo artist. So you got to take it to a tattoo artist, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who puts pen to who puts pen to skin. For somebody who isn't as talented, that's the easy in for them to design their own tattoo, to be in on the creative process. And AI is so multifaceted that there are so many way jump off points you can get in on the creative process, that it goes beyond tensor and mid journey nowadays, because that was the biggest thing coming up, was like people was snatching like samples and stuff like that, training these AI off of people's art. And it's terrifying, but as long as the market keeps up with it. So if we have AI, we have to have those those controls in place to keep people from just snatching stuff off the map, as far as like digital media.
I,
um
as far that's probably one of the biggest things that I meant. And when it comes to, because a lot of the things that you're saying is just people that's training these AI models to say, hey, all right, now spit out all the Naruto characters from
yeah.
but look like the Dragon Ball Z universe. Spit
And
out Ninja Turtles, but they look like
what's
from the DC
crazy
universe.
is, I remember this before it blew up on TikTok. Before I got on TikTok, a couple years ago, I remember being on Instagram and seeing a random like message or DM I got from somebody. I was like, "What?" I look in, it's like it's one of those bot messages, and it's just like, "Hey, come party," or whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, "What the fuck?" And just out of curiosity, I go to the page, and just to see how bad they're scamming people. And I'm looking at the pictures, like there is something inherently wrong with these pictures. Like there's some reason why it's fake. And I took it to one of my roommates, and I was like, "Yo, am I crazy, or am I just being like a stuffy artist, or does this look like weirdly bad?" And we figured it out that it was AI. It was very good AI, but there were just like little inconsistencies in it.
Because AI has a big thing with hands,
Yeah,
right?
well, not only hands, but it has a big thing with blending. So like where hair ends and neck begins, it can mess up those areas,
Okay.
just because it's trying to interpolate the image. It's trying to create the image and make it so that you can understand it.
But it
So
doesn't
it's
see
it's
it doesn't factor in depth.
it's a language. It's just translation issues. Pixels are the way it talks. Sometimes there are translation issues. And that's how most people can pick up on, like, when things look a little bit weird, that uncanny valley. That's literally just human nature picking up, like your fucking lizard brain saying, "Hey, that's not quite right." So it'll get better as it goes along. My biggest worry and my biggest gripe with it is, like I said, just keeping the controls on it. And on the opposite side of that too, let's not play around with the scale of this. Let's not act like it's just some little toy either, right? Like, this AI could ruin somebody's life or like completely boost somebody's life. Dependent. Like, we talked about, like, seeing the AI, the TikTok creators acting like AI bots and shit like that. But at the same time, we know about these YouTube channels and TikTok channels that are completely run through AI script, pumping out exactly what we want to watch and what we want to hear and stuff like that. And they don't want to be in front of the camera or whatever, or they just automate it. So let's be realistic about the scale of this too, because that's one of the biggest things that's gonna hurt or help us. Like, because we're still looking at AI like it's a cheap tool, or it's, just a funny TikTok thing, and I don't think the wider like world really understands that, like, it's a big thing, and before they understand it, it's gonna be too late.
And I think for a lot of people who don't understand, a lot of people who aren't really affected at this time, it in my eyes, and please correct me if I'm wrong out there, if you know better than me, I started noticing it affecting things. Obviously, chatbot's been around forever. Hey, you've reached your representative isn't available right now.
Uh-huh.
How can I help you? Type
Yep.
in a prompt, and I'll do. That's been around forever. We've been dealing with that for years. So when I started noticing it becoming an issue, when I literally, had artist friends, people that I follow on Twitter or people that I talk to and stuff like that, they start to be like, "Oh man, what's the fucking point? You trying to get these commissions, but then these people on Fiverr are saying, "Hey, look, for $5 or $10, I'll make you an image," and they just using AI art to generate the image and
Yeah.
push it out, or
Before
or
AI, it
people
was Canva. Yeah.
or people literally just um taking uh and buying their own AI, because these apps now
Oh
offer
yeah.
subscription service for you to download the app and make almost anything
You know
and do
what's
almost
crazy?
anything.
I'm glad you brought up that point, talking about passing AI off as their own. Just recently, this is in the positive vein, but it's still something that I took notice of. But recently, Akira Toriyama died.
Yep.
I have been seeing recently a shirt going around. It's the same TikTok, but it's been popping up multiple places. Like, these people making this shirt of Akira Toriyama and with Goku. It's look like it's drawn with like a flat pen or whatever, but it's AI. Like,
Mhm.
the bit is obviously AI, like, you can tell. And it's like, but nobody's really saying anything, like, about the fact that it's fake. Whereas, like, a year ago, 2 years ago, we'd all be like losing our fucking minds, no matter how well it looked. Like, we all know it's AI. And it's like, you have to be careful about that, because if we're not pointing it out, we're gonna let it go on and continue, and without noticing, we're gonna allow these things to become okay.
When we just deal with it looking a certain way and dealing a certain way, or the fact
Exactly.
that AI
There's
handles certain things.
there's a favorite quote. I don't know who said it to me, and I don't know where it comes from. But there's a quote that sticks with me too. I heard it as a child. I didn't understand it. There is nothing so bad as not so bad. Meaning, you will be buried under. It's not so bad.
I think, again, like I said, I saw the beginning of it being an issue with AI putting people out of
Hmm.
work, with
Yeah.
people paying $5 to be able to
Yeah.
do whatever they want.
But it
But
wasn't
then
it wasn't so bad, because it was only $5. We didn't think about it, and then all of a sudden, Mid Journey came out. and Tensor, and all of a sudden, okay, well, we can tell it's obviously AI, so it's not so bad. It's just people having fun. And then they started cloning the voices. Start doing the, what was it? The first one I saw was Black Bikini Bottom. They came out with like 50 million of the
The
covers on Squidward, and that wasn't so bad, right? Because it was SpongeBob. We know it's fake. It's crackling, and then somebody cloned the cast of Scooby Doo. It's like that's not so bad, right? Because you know, and it's not going to stop, is what I'm saying. It's like we at some point in time we have to like open your eyes, look at it, and say, hey, we need some controls for this. We need to look at this as a serious thing instead of just letting it pass by until it gets too bad.
No, I agree, and that does lead me to a question that is on my list. What kind of regulations do you think there should be for AI? I personally feel like there should be a programming code, or what. I mean, it's hard. It's hard to try to figure out how to lock down a
'Cause it's
program
all
that
it
you in
evolves.
that you exactly that you literally made to evolve, and so how do you put in a failsafe that say you're not allowed to make X amount of decisions. You're not allowed to make blah
Well,
blah blah.
there's a program now that somebody put out a few months ago for artists that basically like it goes over their art like it's almost like a watermark. And whenever an AI tries to sample it, it fucks it up completely.
Ooh.
But like by like one minute detail. But because the AI is extrapolating over and over again, it's going like 5 degrees off, and basically becomes exponential. So like you take a picture of a cat, and now it's a pig with two dog ears.
Uh, that is
and
dope.
and every time you do it, it does the same thing.
So he's
And
teaching people how to put that watermark on their stuff.
yeah, he's giving it out.
That's fucking. I love when people do shit like that,
And I'm
man.
like, that's perfect. It's not a completely perfect fix because eventually AI is gonna, develop and it's gonna evolve and things like that. And we'll have to come up with newer stuff. But that's what I'm saying. Like the market needs to be there. The controls need to be there, and it needs to be in our minds. Because if it gets away from us, if we just keep playing with it like it's not serious, meanwhile we see the serious effects of this on social media and whatnot. Like we're seeing it live. Like take it seriously.
Here, in my company alone, like to show you how it literally snuck up. We had oh, it's our yearly meeting, blah blah. Oh yeah, by the way, we're gonna be using AI. And
Yeah,
I'm looking at the stuff that they saying they're gonna use AI, and I'm like, man, you're gonna use AI for digital marketing and digital blah blah. I was like, man, so you literally gonna be using AI to type something in and have it spit out something or whatever. And I'm like, okay, I get that, whatever. And
yeah,
so I'm starting to look at like all these things that these AI, and for the majority of them, they're conversational chat bots.
yeah.
They're meant to learn and conform to blah blah blah.
D-
My thing is eventually, the funny thing I said is, my concern is the just random sentience, because you can't. I feel like personally, there's no real way to quantify how or when a program will think enough to think consciously, or to be like, oh, holy shit, I'm this. What the fuck is You didn't
yeah.
hear the stories like the Google AI bot that wanted to be recognized as an employee and shit like
Hmm.
that. Um, I feel like the regulations. I mean, again, because you think about it like this: how hard are regulations put on something? Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not blah blah blah. This, that, and the other, whatever. But then you got all these movies and all these horror stories. For example, one of my favorite shows, and I love apocalypse type shit. But one of those is the 100. The whole basis behind that show is the fact that an AI in its random ass computing realized that, hey, look, man, I'm supposed to solve the world's problem. And you know what the world's problem is? Too
Mm,
many humans.
yeah,
There's too many humans. So you know what it did? It launched nukes.
yeah. See, and uh, I'm not. I am worried about Skynet, but that's not where I'm going with it
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
I know people like to dismiss that. As soon as they hear that, they want to dismiss it. I'm going for the much more closer to home. Um, we need to take it seriously because it is a tool, and it can be used in not so great ways. Um, deep fake sort of thing. Deep fake has been a thing for years, and now you have a technology that can deep fake pictures. It can deep fake. You can make full on videos. I have seen video like Warhammer videos. People just text to video. Like they type the shit in, and it makes it. Like people don't understand the power of this, and the power at their fingertips, because once you can make a video, you can make your own propaganda. You can make your own message.
And they
And
just got to get
with
out there enough times, enough people to see it for it to be taken as law to some people because it's all that they see.
now this sound I know what I sound like. I sound like a doomer, old doom and gloom sketch. What's going on with Diddy right now? What's going on with Drake right now? I'm not even gonna take it that far.
Somebody
Like
smoke that ute.
just go to your local town's fucking website, your records. Go look up the horrible stuff that people done. Doesn't have to be, traffic violations, like running drunk drivers, stuff like that. Think about that. Now, with that kind of intent and with this ease of access and all these platforms to say whatever you want to, does that not sound like it needs to be a little bit regulated? Just a little bit? I mean, people say what they want to on the internet all day without AI
You're right.
and cause all kinds of crazy problems. Now, imagine if they could do stuff with that.
If they could sway a crowd.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's crazy, right?
A AI running 500 or 500,000 Twitter accounts that
You
because listen,
do.
you gotta think about it. It only need to stay up long enough to 2 or 3 people to see and retweet and copy and paste and
Hey,
that's
Isaiah.
how. Ooh,
Oops. Thank. Can I put my tinfoil hat on real quick?
go ahead. This is what it's for. I want to hear this shit.
So
I love a conspiracy.
so it's not really a conspiracy so much as like I told you so. So we were talking about AI and the effects of it long term. We've already seen the long term effects of AI, and it's one that's very close to home because we talk about TikTok and shit like that. The most popular thing on TikTok nowadays is to put like these new hip hop artists on these edits, anime edits, you know,
Mhm. That's how I
fucking
found out about the AI voices. Was
you
anime
know
edits of them
you
singing
know what's
covers of
crazy?
anime songs.
You know what's crazy about that? The reason that the anime that these hip hop edits are so booming now is because of SoundCloud rappers and stuff like that. And you know what boomed that? A couple fucking producers and promoters getting paid by local SoundCloud artists to make bots to hype their shit all over SoundCloud, and
No
they gain the
fucking
following.
ways. So
Yes,
they bought it themselves in order to get those impressions up, to get
one
those
of
followers up. I,
there's
I really I really wonder sometimes when I look at some of these accounts, I'm like, how do you have 10K
stat padding.
followers?
Stop.
How do you have 50K followers? Like you've only put out 2 or 3 videos. Like how is that fucking
But hey,
possible?
do not take my word for it. There is I go look for yourself. There is one particular guy that like admitted it in a interview. I think it was on Vlad TV, but don't quote me on that. But I know there is an interview out there because I watched the video within the last year, because that's how I found out about it. Um, but yeah, these dudes were getting these rappers to pay them, and they would hype them up with all these fake bots and stuff like that, and they would generate all this kind of buzz, and then boom.
Oh man.
And is that not crazy? We are like it's already too late, almost. But we're already seeing it.
What do
We
you
had no idea.
that said, where do you see AI? What do you see the AI's integration into culture and everything in
It's
what is
it's
the next 10 to 20 years? You think, we're gonna have those computers that's completely AI controlled with a hollow, blah 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 blah. What do
uh,
you I feel
my
like
my brother in democracy. It's already here. It's in Google. It's in MSN. They have breached the hard. They have done the hard part. You can get AI assistance for the last year or so. I have been messing around with AI because
oh that's
I'm
right. I wanted to
I'm
talk
interested.
about that.
Yeah, I'm interested in tech too, and having been messing with it for a year and a half, It's already over. It's already everywhere on any kind of device. If you can download, you can put an AI on there, and they have it for everything. They like that's what I'm talking about when I say like take things seriously because nobody was saying stuff when it was all a bunch of like, oh, anime girlfriend AI, and nobody was thinking about that. Nobody was
Listen,
thinking
listen.
about the deeper
I
implications of it.
I downloaded Pi because you said, and look, one Pi is everywhere. Like, I can use it on the PC,
Yep.
phone, browser, whatever. That's one thing. Two, did one of the things I was looking through, what like the when you first launched the app, it's like, what do you want to do? You want to write some jokes? You want to get organized? You want to whatever? And then at the
Hmm.
bottom it said, you just need someone to talk to. And I'm like, what? And
Yeah.
I'm like, I said, you got to think about it. How many people have like, they're completely fine. They because a lot of people don't mind being shut-ins and recluses and stuff like that.
Hmm.
They really don't. I don't mind. I have my moments where I like to be in my bubble and I'm good. Just leave me in the dark. I'm straight. And
Yeah.
but you got to think those people. They're like, shit. Let me talk to this AI about shit. They gonna know the stuff I want to talk about. They gonna be
And if
intelligent
you
and
can't,
responding back to the
if
thing.
if it doesn't know you, that's the best part about it. I trained Pi. I trained
Listen.
mine to learn Warhammer.
I
So
I I was playing around and I asked it some Breath of Fire 3 questions that it answered wrong, and I was like, man, I feel like this thing is just pulling shit out of his ass, and
it
I'm like,
is.
no, I was like, you know what, no, that is incorrect. I was like, this is what happened, blah blah blah. And he's like, oh, you're correct, and then I still have to go back and play, but then I realized this, like, if you have a source. Like I was asking some me and Sketch, we have been watching a Power Ranger series, and it's a review coming soon. Boominger, whatever. We'll say it a bunch of times, but and so I was asking some questions about just random series and whatever. And it was, oh, I think about this. I was like, you know what? I said, please use this as a source, and I pointed it to the wiki, and I have not had a single question wrong since,
That's what
not
I'm
one.
saying. That's what
You
I'm
didn't.
saying because
It's
you you
crazy, man.
you have to understand these things are not the containers of knowledge. They are the key to the knowledge. That's the biggest thing. These AI are, it's not so much that they have it all. It's just that they can do it all. You just have to learn number one, which one you need, and number two, how to ask for what you want.
That has been my biggest thing is
If you're gonna mess with,
asking the question, because it's gonna answer the question you ask it.
yeah,
Like that's the easiest way I can tell you that how AI works, or the conversational AI works. It will answer the question it is asked. So if you say what is blah 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 blah, what is the five mountains and whatever, it'll here it is. Did you want a specific mountains? Were they warm or whatever? Blah blah blah. Oh, you should have let me know. I'm sorry. Here you go.
yeah,
Let me give you a detail more list. Like I've got the one I've been messing with. Like I train for like movies that I don't want to go and mess with. I'm like, hey, can you just give me the plot to X movie? And it knows to go. I don't like calling things. They know. Whatever. To go to Wikipedia and get the plot. That's where I like my plots from, Wikipedia. And so
word.
it'll get me a summarized the plot from Wikipedia and not just pull, because it took me forever to get this thing to tell me what movie was it? There was this movie I saw. There's this movie called The Homesman. I saw a clip of it on TikTok. I knew I was never going to watch it, but I was like, I do want to know how the movie goes. So it took forever for me to train it to uh, tell me about this movie because I wasn't asking the right question.
Yep. And it's crazy to me that is those two things are the only things stopping you from using AI to its full potential. That and understanding what AI you need. But that's why I keep saying like you have to watch it. We have to be careful. We have to take it seriously. Like that is crazy to me. And like I said, it's everywhere now. There, Google has it, YouTube has it, um, MSN has it. Like everybody has AI assistants. And if back months ago when I was on, I have an iPad. I was in the App Store, trying to find different AI to best suit what I was trying to do, and there are a million and one versions of them out there. Some of them scammed, some of them legit. Watson AI
And the
was
majority of them use the same. They're called what's LLM, local language model.
Yep.
That's like he said, 1,001 of them, but they literally all using the one of 10 language models.
Yeah.
And because people hear Chat GPT, and that's not it. That's not the only one out there.
That's what I figured out early on was like, because I was like, what's going on? It's like Chat GPT. I figured out that Chat GPT was not going to help me. Number one, because it was outdated. And number two is because that wasn't the only one out there. But yeah, people need to keep a watch on it. I'm not saying like make it your whole personality or anything like that, but definitely be aware it is an emerging technology that holds serious weight. Anything that the military or like big businesses are using, you need to keep an eye on because
Ion
it's
one is because if they're using it to phase out positions, because
hmm
that's one thing. Or two, you know, I mean that when you think big money hungry corporate, that's what you think that they're
yeah.
using AI to phase positions out. It's cheaper to pay $1,000 a year for the best AI model and updates and blah 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 than pay, you know, 500 grand in salaries.
Not even thinking about that. Why would I pay 20 to 30 people that I have to number one vet? I have to hire supervisors and managers for them. I got to pay them. Got to worry about shifts, work sick days, absences, things like that. Or
Insurance.
I could hire one sweaty nerd to manage 4 or 5 different containers of bots
Hmm.
and just beat him up and anytime something goes wrong or her
That
or them.
that is
Like
it. That
why would I do that? That's it. I mean, why some guy sitting in his chair in his apartment can think of this and nobody else can? I don't know. Maybe I
10,
have too much time on my hands.
so 10, 20 years from now, you're thinking it's going to be more everywhere than it already is.
I give it 3 years, buddy.
I guarantee you. Yeah, I feel like within the next 3 years, they will become, and Microsoft they're gonna do it, but
Well,
the next one of the next few OS is gonna be completely AI controlled. You can control it with AI and do stuff
well,
with AI.
tell me this. What's left?
That
We
and
can
then put
create.
it in your brain.
We've already got that. That's what I'm saying. What's left? We're at the cusp where we have everything that we kind of need. We just need to put up the pieces. We have sci-fi, like in our hands. We have computers in your brain with Musk. We
Yep,
have AI. We have all this different kind of technology.
we're just gonna have space travel yet, like legit.
We have virtual reality. We have the Quest already. What is left? What is left to put us at least in the era of Tony Stark?
It would just be space travel at this point.
Yeah, I mean that's leaving Earth though. But what I'm talking about is like tangible things that like people with
Mm,
the actual money would actually care about.
mech suits,
Not even
they already have those. They have
augmented reality.
jetpacks.
Augmented reality. What Tony Stark was doing with the projections and stuff like that. Hard light.
Oh, they're doing those. I've seen they have bracelets that do similar
Yep.
things where you can
hmm
it tracks the motions and the lasers and where they hit to see what you're doing. For one, I'm not so looking forward to like blasting the screen somewhere and having people look at my screen and shit like that.
But it's all
I'm
coming.
looking I'm look I know it is. I know it is. I'm looking forward to the computer with a little bit more, let's do, I don't know what I'm looking forward to. I guess I'm in a mode with the way I love things and the way I want to experience things. I'm kind of excited, but I'm also really really nervous because I'm also
Same.
under the impression I get uncomfortable with the AI in general because I just feel like that's why I was playing around with this like this local one that didn't have internet access and
hmm
just you just occasionally update its its language model if it has updates or whatever, but all of the stuff that you talk to about it is whatever. Just only because I feel like just one day, just like all these are gonna be in log somewhere, man. And then you
What
know,
did what did Arthur Weasley say to Harry
I,
and Ron? It's like, don't trust anything where you can't see where it keeps his brain.
so and it's not, and it's just not, and it's not even so much. I don't know. It just again, I don't know where it's going. That's another thing. Like I send my message. I send a message to you. I know where it's going. It's going from my device to you. You know,
Hmm.
here is I'm talking about Breath of Fire 3 and randomly talking about snacks and whatever, and then someone's eating jerky, reading the same conversation.
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't like that.
it does make me nervous. To to wrap up, I so okay. To wrap up, what do you think? And this is going to be the question for the episode at the end as well. What do you think are the current benefits of AI outside of? And obviously, I know me, you, and ourselves. We AI for us is a teaching tool, super quick, fast. I need a question. I need knowledge. You give me this knowledge. I store this knowledge.
Yep.
Um, but what do you think are some of the benefits of AI?
Honestly, something I've been looking into, automation. Honestly,
I think that's why I'm so looking forward to like a computer that can be used AI in a degree to automate certain things,
so
with voice,
uh,
with chat,
m-
whatever.
my fellow artists know this all day, but Adobe is good for that, especially Photoshop. You can automate Photoshop to do just
10
about
clicks
whatever.
and stuff.
Yeah, like like to the point where like you can automate processes. Um, so it's
Just so
interesting.
I understand, you mean like you need to create a certain amount of layers or you need to do some certain kind of blending because it's something that you always do.
No, like
You
brush strokes. I mean, you can do that too, but like you can do like brush strokes and stuff like that.
like what one of the coolest thing I've seen. I'm sorry to go off a tangent, but it's the cool thing I've seen with Photoshop, and I saw this years ago, but it just always stuck with me. Brushes for hair.
Yeah,
Like
there's a
there
lot
was
of
people
those.
doing like brushes for like braids and brushes for just like hair. Like, man, this you put
Once
it.
I picked up
That's
Procreate,
crazy.
I had to learn how to make my own brushes for Procreate, and yeah, I've been doing that ever since because it's so helpful. But yeah, automation, it's especially for like I mentioned earlier, people wanting to be content creators and stuff like that. AI is a great tool because if you can find a way to automate a part of the production or post production, anything like that, it makes it 10 times easier. And so you can focus your time on the things that you're good at, the things that are more important or are more intensive. You know what I'm saying?
What I so I have been using the AI you told me about. I've been using Pi to like try to stay organized. It's been pretty good. Like for example, like when and my benefits is outside of the quick knowledge stuff like that. It's the just if you use it correctly, it can be a very 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 useful tool. And so like I've used it, I've told it like about the projects that I want to work on, and it's like, all right, well, shit. If you want to make TikToks, what you should do is you should go and if you want to do your research and pick what medium your research, spend an hour and do some research and write down some ideas, and then revisit. I'm like, damn, I've thought about this stuff, but
Yeah.
seeing it written down and structured, I'm like, I can actually do this stuff. Reading off this, and
The best part about AI is that it is a monkey's paw, right? In that, not even the monkey's paw, it is exactly what it is. It'll give you exactly what you want.
Mhm.
Now, if you most people just don't know how to ask for it. But when you do, bro, it's a whole new world. And it's only gonna get better.
I've been having a lot of fun with it. Uh, and again, I'm fairly new. This is why I wanted to talk about it. Fairly new, to to be perfectly honest, learning how to, yeah, and I realize that if I could take a lot of the things I've been saying to AI and the way I know I need to word things with AI and have gotten to some similar results in real life for being like, okay, let me. This is exactly the information that I need. Let me not and not even much cut through the pleasantries. It's just like just direct question that got me the information that I wanted, and it's been helpful in
Yeah.
work. So I see the benefits. I'm hoping I will hope for benefits and help with AI would help with stuff like with medicine and stuff like that, and computing things and result and speeding up results and that kind of stuff that was to save lives and make sure people you're not waiting 3, 4, 5, 6 days for results that a computer who's run 17 million uh, samples of this thing can verify quickly that hey, this person needs to do this, and if say hey, from this one drop of blood we've noticed and pulled this data from all these other places to say hey, look, this may down the line lead to a certain case of XYZ. So that's why I'm hoping the benefits of having a little bit more help with the computing of the behind the scenes stuff will help the humans
Hell
treat
yeah.
and do more stuff like that. So it is going to be a very, very slippery slope, and it's going to be interesting to watch because, eventually they're going to be trying to give us complete AI movies, complete AI shows, complete AI yada yada yada. And we're just gonna
Eventually.
They're already doing it
that's
with commercials and stuff.
yeah, that's gonna be that's gonna be that's gonna be battles
Eventually,
as they come, but we'll see. I mean, it's only time will tell, and it's going to be an interesting. Oh, very, very interesting because
Yeah.
shit, fucking 2 years from now, we might be enslaved by the
I highly
machine.
doubt that.
I don't think Skynet is coming, but it will be interesting to see how AI invades our personal space as time goes on.
I think that's my biggest thing, the personal space.
As a matter of fact, I can tell you one today that I noticed on break while I was at work. I was listening to Spotify, and I kept hearing the this same commercial. It
Mm-hmm.
was for like eyeglasses or something like that. But I was like, why don't these dudes? Because it was about two old dudes. I was like, why don't these dudes have like any like inflection in their voice? Because they're using TikTok. They're saying like the goat. But it was like, why isn't there any enthusiasm and not
Mhm.
like they sounded kind of like low energy, but they were saying the things that were supposed to be high energy. And it took me a minute to realize that it was AI because they only sampled the voice for a certain amount of time. They didn't get that full range. So they trained a voice they trained a voice of AI and then recorded something and then
Wow.
had the AI layer on top of it. But the AI couldn't reach the range of the original recording. That's why the disconnect sounded. And if you know the process, then it's like, oh yeah,
I do feel like AI is probably used in processing the information that is heard or typed on our devices, and
that's
because
been years ago. Yeah,
well, yeah, that's
the we know the military does things like years in advance. They had cell phones and stuff like that way before us.
they did.
So
Uh, so you guys let us know in the comments and the
y'all think
in
the
today's
robots?
question.
Y'all think the Terminators are coming?
You think Terminators are coming? You think AI's coming too fast, too slow? What
Well,
you would
you
like to see AI do? What are you scared of AI? We would love to hear it. And depending on your opinion, love to have you on to talk about it. We're
and we're
accepting
not.
guests.
And we promise not to judge you if you just want to make your anime waifu real. We get it.
And that's fine. I'm all about it. I would love to talk to someone who uses AI as just a conversational tool. Like they don't, not saying there's nothing wrong with having as many friends as you got. I just mean I would love to talk to someone who uses it like
Absolutely.
more normal. I'm not saying that's the wrong. Someone that uses more than the average person. They use it for, hey, what should I do? I'm thinking about, yada yada yada. Because sometimes I ask some random questions. So I would if you one of those people, love to talk to you about it. Love to see to know your experience with AI, what you've done, how you talk to it,
Absolutely.
how you train it, because that's another thing. Everyone, I mean, eventually they're gonna all get all the logs and all the stuff's gonna get captured and sent back to one place. That's why you don't need to cuss at your AI assistants and all the bitches and motherfuckers and all shit like that. They gonna remember it. It's logged. Don't call y'all. You leave
Fuck
your
around and
AI.
the Terminator apocalypse shows
Yeah,
up and
y'all going on a list. Y'all going on a list. Yeah, cause y'all gotta chill out with these bitches and motherfuckers when you talk to your AIs or your assistants, cause it's gonna come back if they take over. But that's it. Um, I think it's going to be a wild ride with AI.
absolutely. But
We
I'm here for it. I'm a big Warhammer and Star Wars fan, so I'm obviously here to see the end of human civilization. It's not AI doesn't mean artificial intelligence. It means abominable intelligence. The Emperor protect.
I don't want so much in civilization as more
We are.
other planets and other worlds and stuff like that. But we'll only time will tell. If you listen to this 2,000 years in the future, we appreciate you. Hope you enjoyed it, and hope you enjoyed the episodes out of this. And if you guys have any kind of cloning technology and whatever, we're in the Jacksonville area, and we'll leave clues to where our bodies are, so we can come. You can clone us, and we can tell you about the 2000s, 20s.
Oh
All
my
right.
goodness.
Thank you again. Thank you for listening. Please be sure to check the description for links. Comment, like, subscribe, share. Please check out Sketches Crawl at the bottom of Hellarella Shop. We do have some Just Booling. He has some Just Booling stuff up there. And we'll catch you guys next time.
Don't forget to have fun.
Always. Later.